Once again, we're staying in our ground floor plan. And in this particular video, we're going to be taking a look at how we work with polylines and splines. Now, we'll look at the spline function in a moment. What we're going to look at first is generating a fully closed polyline that contains line segments and arc segments. Now, in the previous video, we created our table here, didn't we, with the lines, the arcs, and the circle. What I'd like you to do is erase all of this. So just click on each arc. As you can see, there's the arcs there, 2 lines, and we also need to click on the circle. All of that selected, it's then a right click, and on the shortcut menu, click on erase. Now, the reason I've done that is we're going to recreate exactly what we've just erased, but only using the polyline and circle commands. Now, we're on the right layer already. You can see we're on our A700M FFE layer. We should still be on that from the previous video. We're now going to go up to the Draw panel on the Home tab on the ribbon and click on Polyline. Come into the drawing area, pick a point sort of there-ish. It doesn't have to be exact, but about there, and left-click once. Using your polar tracking, you're going to drag to the right and type in 3500, which was the length of the horizontal side of the table we've just erased. Press enter. Now, that's the first segment of our polyline. Right click on the mouse. Because it's context sensitive, you're now working with functionality in the polyline command, and you're going to select arc. Now, you'll notice if you drag vertically downwards, the polar tracking kicks in. I can then use direct distance entry and type in 2500 in the box. Press enter to confirm, and that places an arc that is basically diameter of 2500. However, we're still trying to draw an arc here. So we right click again. We go to line on the shortcut menu. And now we draw a line segment. So we drag to the left, get the polar tracking to kick in. Direct distance entry again, 3500, and enter. And there's our other line segment. We then right click again, go back to arc again, drag it up to the endpoint snap here. When you see the endpoint snap, left click, and then enter to finish. Job done. Now, you might think that by pressing enter, you're out of the polyline command. Well, all you've got to do there is right click, and you'll notice that there's an enter at the top of the shortcut menu. Just click on that, job done. You can press enter on the keyboard if you want to. It's entirely up to you. Both ways work. But just make sure that you've come out of the polyline command before you start moving around. Otherwise, you'll start placing some weird arc or line segments in place there, and you don't want that. If you hover over this now, you'll see it's a closed polyline. Very quick and easy to do, just utilizing that arc and line setting in the polyline command. We now just go up to the circle command on the draw panel. We want center radius on the drop down there, and we do our auto snap, our object snap tracking. Hover over that midpoint there, and we hover over that midpoint there. Drag downwards a little. There's the intersection. Left click, drag the circle out, and it had a radius of 800. Press enter to confirm, and you've now got exactly the same table, but it's now a closed polyline and a circle. Okay, zoom out slightly now and pan around until we get to this area here in the center of the drawing. You can see the stairs, and there's some sofas and tables and chairs here. Zoom in to that central square, and you want to be looking at this wall over here. See the corner of the wall? That's kind of where you want to be. Now, don't worry about changing layers. I'll show you a neat trick in a minute, but we're now going to look at the spline command. Now, the spline command is on the hidden part of the draw panel here. So we click on the arrow next to draw, and we click on the pin to pin that part of that panel open. Now, you'll notice there's 2 types of splines. We have the spline with fit points. We have the spline with control vertices. You want the spline with fit points. So click on spline fit, come into the drawing area and zoom in a bit. And you want to just click on that endpoint corner there of the wall. Click once. And as you come around now, I'll zoom out slightly so you can see what's going on. Just click a few points, 1, and just come up and down. You're creating a nice wiggly wall that disguises the seating area from the entrance area to the staircase. When you get to about there, just press enter to finish. There's your spline. Now it is a random spline, but a spline is an irregular curve in AutoCAD. And it is a non-uniform rational B-spline, NURBS, N-U-R-B-S. You'll often see it being mentioned when you're working in 3D geometry, because splines are often used to create profiles that are then extruded in 3D geometry. But you can see there you've created, in essence, a wiggly wall to hide the chairs and the tables from, if I zoom out slightly, the stair entrance area here. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to offset that to give it a thickness. We're going to zoom in on the corner of the wall right here. Get your crosshair over it and zoom in nice and tight. We're going to go over to the Utilities panel here on the Home tab on the ribbon. Click on the flyout for measure and select Distance. Click on this end point of the corner here, left click, and just drag vertically upwards until you see that intersection and left click again. The distance is 120.65. Remember that distance and click on Exit. Zoom out slightly so that you can see all of your wiggly spline wall. You're then going to go up to the Modify panel here on the Home tab on the ribbon, and we're going to use this command here, Offset. Click on Offset, come into the drawing area, it asks for an offset distance. That's that 120.65 that I asked you to remember. Press Enter to confirm the distance, and then click on your wiggly spline wall. Left click on it, and you can move either side. Can you see the orange goes either side of the selected purpley pink line? You want the orange below, not above. Can you see that? So you want to offset downwards. When the orange is below the original, left click, and you've offset that by 120.65. Press Enter to finish the offset command. Go up to the Line command on the Draw panel, and you're going to draw a little line at the end. So endpoint there, left click, to endpoint there, left click. Enter to finish again. And then zoom in on this end of the wiggly spline wall. Can you see there's the green wall there? We just need to extend that spline to the green wall. So we go to the Modify panel, see where it says Trim, click on the flyout, select Extend. You're just going to click on the end of the line there to extend it. Can you see it extends to the green wall? Press Enter to finish. You've extended that neatly. We can now unpin the Draw panel. Click on the pin there. That will go back into the ribbon. Zoom out slightly and pan across. There is our wiggly spline wall, but it needs to be on this wall layer here. So we go up to Match Properties. That's on the Properties panel on the Home tab on the ribbon. We click on the source object, which is our green wall line here, and then a little paintbrush appears. Click on each of the splines. They go green. Click on the little end line as well, just to make sure that it's all consistent. Enter to finish, and you've now placed a really neat, cool looking wiggly spline wall. When you zoom out, you can see that's really clever. It gives a nice feature as you come in through the corridor down here to the stairs, and then you come round into the relaxation area there. So as you can see, we've used the polyline command effectively, and we've used the spline command effectively.